Yeah, we're definitely gonna rob a bank. I'll tell you how, okay?
All
I'll
right,
tell you
let's
how
do it.
we're gonna do it. Yeah?
Perfect.
So hi everyone, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
So
New Year.
it's me, Roger, Reconnect, and I have Nairi here. Hello everyone. With us. And we have
Hello.
Satu. Hi Satu in Sweden.
Hey, how's it going?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So good to see you again. How was your holiday?
It went pretty fast, but I spent a lot of time with family and relatives, and it was really nice. And we have so much snow right now, so it's really beautiful winter weather.
Okay.
But I also
Amazing.
did have COVID, so yeah, recovering from that, so it takes a while.
Oh no. You know,
Yeah.
I have this theory about COVID. Is that if I don't test, then I'm never positive. So therefore,
Yeah,
I live by the assumption that I never
Never
had it, and maybe
positive.
I had it maybe 100 times, but I never knew. So if I don't know, it
probably.
never happened.
That's good. Yeah, I didn't actually test. My husband did. And since
Uh,
we had the same symptoms, I just figured it must be the same. So
Look, I used to the same excuse for blackouts. You know, like when I used to get drunk back in the days and go partying. So if I don't remember it, it never happened. So if I
yeah,
made a
yeah, yeah.
mistake during that time, it's the same thing. So now if I never tested, then it never happened.
Good.
Mo, how are you?
I am
Mo,
great. Thank you.
are,
All
are
well.
you gonna show us your face?
Unfortunately, no, because I'm not. I'm in a place I cannot show my face.
Right.
Well, the reason why I'm wearing a hat is not because it's too cold today. It's because I have bad hair day. But I'm like ready to for a robbery, as you can see. So,
You can call me about
Mo,
hair. If you want
yeah.
any advice about like good hair, let me know.
If we need what?
Good advice on him.
About hairstyling.
Yeah,
On
yeah, yeah.
hairstyle, yes, please. I mean, I don't want to scare you right now. Like maybe I do need. I have a lot of hair. When I was born, my mother started crying because my brother was like Satu. He's like blonde and white, and when I was born, I was like black and hairy. She started crying. She's like, "No, that can't be my son." Really, this is one of my childhood traumas, actually.
When I was born, I had black hair as well. So then it
Wow.
started going blonde. When I was
No,
2 years old, it went blonde, and then it started getting dark again. And now I'm coloring it, so black back to
Okay.
blonde. Yeah, but it was
So you're
really
blonde.
black.
Well, we know you blonde, and we can't think of you otherwise. So, I
Uh,
mean, until you change it, that's the beauty of things, right? Change. You never know. So one
yeah,
day you might say, like, I'm gonna go black again and like chop it off.
yeah. No,
No.
no, no, no. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Oh my God.
Not gonna
Well,
go like
well,
Britney Spears style.
well, look, my beard. I mean, somebody told me like, so I'm like kind of dating. I did a love coaching session, like same like we did now. I doing everything. I'm like cleaning my laundry in Zoom calls and then putting them online, pretty much. So I did love coaching. And basically, of course, I'm in the dating game, right? So one lady told me like you should cut your hair. I was like, okay, like I know, but I literally have been working like for 40 days consecutive with no breaks in harsh conditions in Lebanon. And yeah, and I didn't get the chance and I couldn't even afford, a haircut and a shave. But, today I will, today.
Good.
Yeah. So that's why we're going to rob a bank too.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I'm so happy to have you all with us today. So I want to congratulate again Mo for like just recently finishing 60 sports. And that makes it a total of, well, he finished 30 this year and 30 last year and the year before. So 2021, 30 sports. This year, 30 sports. Last year, so 2022. And now we're heading into 2023 and we are doing manic resolution. So are we going to do those 100 more?
Of course, bro. This is what we're
Yeah,
gonna
tell
do.
us about it, man.
We're going full on. So we need to first think about 100 sports because we've done 60 and looks like we finished all the sports.
Okay.
Mm.
It's gonna be fun doing it. So basically, I wrote down the other sports that I'm gonna go for. So far, I have written down around 95 sports. So I'm still struggling with 5 other sports. So if you have any ideas, also that would be fucking fantastic.
I do
Wow.
mind games. Mind games. We're talking mental health. Mind games. Board games. Whatever.
That's actually not a bad idea because I was actually wondering if chess was considered as a sport.
I would have said chess.
Bagamon, man, Lebanon. They die for Bagamon.
Yes.
We do like Bagamon. Everywhere in Turkey, they're gonna love you even. I mean, we
Really?
love you, but like we need to
Syria.
more people to know about what you're doing because like it's 100 sports, right? And you're learning all these sports, so that's why we are here today.
We also have
Alright.
these kind of Scandinavian Nordic games that you play with your family outdoors. So maybe one of them could be, because it's a sport kind of. You're still active physically.
Mo, you have no excuse now. It's documented and it's gonna go. It's on camera, yani. Khalas.
Yeah.
Just say yes. Say yes.
I think you guys heard it first here on this platform that we are gonna go for 100.
Okay, and one of them is gonna be Nordic, and one of them is gonna be Tawle, which is Bagamon, which is Turkish, Lebanon, you know, Emirat, Egypt.
Syria.
Everybody plays it. Yeah.
Very
Done.
cool.
Okay.
All right. It's on the
Cool.
list.
So we've done with the listing almost, which is cool. Look, I was thinking before coming here, it's like, how are we going to do this session? I'm like, we need 3 things to make this project amazing and like hit like an international awareness, and maybe we can like become more famous. So we need 3 things: money, resilience, and stress release. Okay. And we have Sato with us, Sato Alman, who's going to tell us about SAGA Performance's resilience program, which we actually would like Mo to, you know, utilize as part of the his planning and his execution of 40 more sports. I mean, it's an additional challenge for him, 10 more sports. So he was doing 30, now he has 40. And we know how stressful it was. I did an interview again a few weeks ago when he did it. And it was exhausting. It was tiring. There was a lot of pressure on him, on his newlywed wife, and he has a lot on his plate. And also we have Nairi, who's a gift from Reconnect, and she's gonna help you in actually having pre and post stress release exercises virtually, right, throughout the 30 days and even and before in your preparatory phase. So this is a gift from Reconnect, and Nairi is here with us. She will tell us later. Sorry?
I say thank you so much, Reconnect. I really appreciate it. I think that's gonna help a lot with like getting my mindset into it, because like sometimes you have those like tough times and tough days that you don't want to go, you don't want to get out of bed, and all the tension you have on the body and the sleepless nights and stuff. So thank you.
Mo, so I have one more to continue. So we said we need stress, money, resilience, and stress release, right? So I gave you the solution for stress release, Nairi, and for resilience, Sato. Now money, okay? Money, we have to talk about money. So first we have to thank Boss, because they gave us money in order for us to be able to make the first edition, this 2022 edition happen. And we are so grateful to them, to Voss, for doing that for us. And Voss are already interested in supporting us. I don't know how much and how and where and what, but this is what we're developing, and we have amazing things to show for it. And you've done amazing filming with Insta360, and the project is really cool. Like we had, like, it was so inspirational and so amazing. So we need money, right? So that's why I wore my hat. So here in Lebanon, we're like dog eat dog world. We steal. Okay, everything is getting stolen. I'm serious, bro. Like there's the, you know, the cables for electricity. Yeah, they're being stolen and sold into, you know, metal, like literally, what do you call it? Just bidawbuhum, yani. They sell them per kilos. The same for the engines, cars. Anyway, anything we do. So there's a lot of theft. So I'm like, and you know, the banks actually took people's money. And the only way we see people having access to their money is when they walk into a bank with a gun. And it's like, it's happening every week. So I'm like, why not? So we've got Voss. And I'm in Lebanon. The only way to get money is going with a gun. So I was like, I'm prepared today. What do you think?
Is robbing a bank considered one of a sport?
Sorry?
Is robbing a bank considered as a sport as well?
Well, I
Maybe
guess
sure,
so.
yes.
I mean, it's become a sport. If you want, well, look, if you're getting your own money, you're not really robbing anybody. Right? You're getting your own money. So it is a sport, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's doing it.
If we run fast afterwards, I think it would be considered.
I mean, we have more robbery cases in banks than COVID cases now on Lebanese TV.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. But again, it's not robbery. You're getting your own money. I mean, people don't have like. Look, okay, can we talk about this? This is important. This is really important. So I was walking on this, and Mo knows what I'm talking about, and this just came to me that we need to do this now. So I'm walking on the street the other day, and I hear a guy on the phone saying the word Depakine. Depakine is a psychiatric drug. It's an antipsychotic that I used to take. Now it shuts you down, and on the long term, it gives you Alzheimer's and stuff, right? So I was on it for 2, 3 years. It really shut down my system. So I hear the guy talking on the phone. I don't know him on the street, in the middle of the street at night. And I stop and say, man, who takes Depakine? Stop, stop, stop. Who are you giving this to? And he says, I have an autistic daughter, a sister. She's 8 years old. She's as old as my daughter. Okay? So she's autistic. Now, her medication, okay, the one that she takes, costs $50, right? There are alternatives, okay, that are less than $50 a month, but those alternatives, because she's autistic, even from the look of it or a change of brand or color, like makes her very uncomfortable. She's autistic, so she can actually have, you know, her symptoms come out because she's scared of what is being given to her. So now we have the situation where people in Lebanon cannot afford like literally basic medication. And this I say always, you know, God or the universe put this situation in front of us so we can do something about it. So does anybody have $50 that would like to send it to us so we can get medication for this girl? We have all her documents. We have her card from the Ministry of Health that she is disabled, and her family are running on the street to try to get her medication. We just need $50. That's like 180 dirhams. Mo, do you have 180 dirhams? Mo?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. We also have banking restrictions. We can only receive it in Lebanon, okay, via Western Union. Okay?
Okay.
So let's do it. We'll talk about it later, but thank you, Mo. We did need to do these things because we are here to enable. I came back to Lebanon because I know how bad the situation is. And right now, if I had it on me, I would like take it out and give it. But we have to wait for our sponsors, right? So that's why. So I'm not going to rob a bank today. So we'll take care of the girl first, and let's get back into this. So I'm going to take care of the money, okay? I'm the money man. So I'm going to go around to sponsors. I think we have lots of opportunities. We started engaging with the Dubai Fitness Challenge. They were resharing our stuff, which is really cool of them. And yeah, I mean, like, you know, being in Dubai was always amazing for Reconnect and still is. And we did this recently with Mo, 30 days, and now we're heading in. And it's one of the main projects that Reconnect is going to home and host and love in 2023. This is our resolution with Mo, and Mo is aware of this. We are going this as a force together, all of us, and Satu's with us, really for resilience. What can we do for Mo in order for him and us, all of us as a team, to make the most out of this occasion, right? In terms of Mo's performance, in terms of our capability to engage with sponsors, because this is the kind of stuff that we send to sponsors and say, we need the money. And we also want to reach out to Dubai Fitness Challenge, and we want to, you know, like, this is amazing. I mean, there's UAE Wellness Strategy 2031. That's why the Dubai Fitness Challenge and all this amazing wellness happens in the UAE, right? Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And Mo today is going to also tell us, like, briefly, Mo, you can tell us, you know, about, you know, we have enough to talk about the 100 sports, but you also have a program that you want to take into education, into you know, gyms, into sporting clubs. I mean, you guys have amazing infrastructure now and, you know, proper sporting systems, but you have something that you are building that also you want to really instill in the UAE as a solution for the development of professional athleticism. And this is fantastic news, man. It's like more Mo's in the house. It's like, that's amazing, man. So tell us about them.
So basically, because something that we're working on it right now. So basically, it's going to be more about high performance athletes developing it. Firstly, it's going to be education. We're going to educate people what high performance is and how do they reach to high performance, who's eligible, who can do it. So basically, we just want to educate people how to become a high performer athlete or how to become a high performance, let's say, an individual. And so this is the new initiative, or this is what we're going to try to build. And we're going to start with education, and then we're going to build up a center, and then basically we're going to take it to the next level, because I do believe high performance can be taught. A lot of people with, you need to have like resilience, as you said, like a consistency. So there's so many aspects and so many things that we can do it, but we can actually change people's life, and we can introduce them to high performance, what high performance is. Once people understand how those big athletes reach to where they reach, and understand how they've done it, and we can try to replicate that. It's, people need to know that it takes time and dedication. It's not just something that you were born with, right? All of those people that achieve their ultimate goals, they worked hard for it. People don't seem to see these things, and this is what we're trying to bring into here, to say like, okay, this is how they got there. You can do it. This is what it takes. How do you go there, and all the aspect behind it. So basically, a human being is like a F1 car, right? And an F1 car doesn't just drive itself. It has a team of 90 people behind it to make sure that it goes fastest. It makes sure that it's running to their full capacity. It makes sure that it is actually delivering to their maximum capacity. And this is what we're trying to do.
Mo, you know something, you told me also you're doing a podcast where you're hosting different athletes from the UAE or based in the UAE. But I also want you to tell us about the podcast, because you know, like, we're living in digital age and all, and
Yeah.
content, you know, like the thing that we're doing so amazing with is that we're spreading that content. And you know, like, if that inspires people, then that's what, you know, I think a lot of people now are interested in what we're talking about, which is fantastic. And we are all, you know, in a perfect place, the UAE, to spread wellness, and there's so much support. And I think there are so many opportunities. We're collaborating with Illuminations now, which is the top, you know, illumination center in the UAE.
Yeah.
And here in Lebanon, we're putting up this gifting, like, digital, we're going virtual, like, so many things are just creeping up bit by bit. And but yeah, the podcast is an amazing opportunity to inspire. And like, this is where I think, you know, once we have the thing is, we have inspiration because it's like on TV, right? But the inspiration is not supported with practical action on the ground. So those kids are inspired, but they don't know the process. And we spoke about this before, right? So and this is really what we want to do, is that if we have that platform and that content to support it, then we have the ideal platforms, because then, oh, you know, this is where you can do it. It's like Mo is like next door, right? It could be, you know, wherever we are, in Illuminations or a football club, or, you know, yes, Marina Island. I mean, this is beautiful, and we'd love to see it happen soon, and that's what we really want to see. So tell me about the podcast itself. Like, what do you plan to do with it?
So basically, the podcast will be, we're going to be meeting, and we're going to be like tapping into the mind of the top athletes that have actually like contributed so much to the country, or contributed so much to the sport. Basically, what we want to do is we want to show the world that what it takes. We want to do two things. One is we want to give a platform to those athletes to share their story, to tell people what have they gone through and what have they done. Because usually an athlete is not an athlete, like an athlete who actually win events and like on the podium, they didn't just get it easy, right? And they don't have any place for them to share their story. Nobody will put on their Instagram or on their social media saying, oh, I did this and I did this and I did that. So we are trying to create that platform for them to actually tell their story, tell their struggle, tell how they got there. They tell the strength, the mental strength that they have. How did they fight? How did they go to where they got? A lot of people and a lot of athletes reach to that breaking point where they have to fight with their mind. They have to fight with their internally to say like, okay, how do I get out of it? How can I bounce back out of it? How do they actually deal with losing? How do they deal with winning? How do they deal with all of those things? People only see the end result, and especially with social media and all of those things, a lot of people make life looks easy because it looks like them, they win events, they're having good life, they have their money, they're like living all those fancy life, but nobody knows the struggle. Nobody sees what happens behind the scenes or what happens offline. This is what we're trying to bring up there. It's like, okay, they can achieve it, so you can achieve it as well. But they did not achieve it by sitting and watching Netflix and having easy life. They had their own mind battle. They have their own internal battle. They worked hard. They dedicated themselves for them to reach here. Now, the day when you go to like kids in the school, you give them an option. Say like, would you prefer to enjoy your time now with your friends and do all of those things, or you want to work hard now to enjoy it in the later on in the older age? And this is where you have to that balance, right? If you look at Tiger Woods, didn't have a proper childhood, but look at Tiger Woods now. He's one of the famous, one of the richest. So he traded his youth, or he traded down his younger age into a successful career to where he got into it. So this is the things that people don't understand. These are the things that people don't have. They can't see it, or they don't have what they call them, like they cannot reach it, right? So by this podcast, we want to make it easier for people to reach into, people to see the stories happening around the world. How do they got it? What happens to them? And then they have this option saying, okay, I want to be like them. Do I have that mindset? Do I want to work hard? Do I want to skip parties, skip going out with friends, and dedicating myself now for the future good? This is where this is what we're trying to achieve at the end of the day.
Oh, it's really interesting. You know, you were talking about you know, influencing like children, like, you know, like going partying or going you know, to sports. I'll give you two examples. One is Danielle Arif. Danielle Arif is a Red Bull athlete, and she's Ironman world champion 3 years in a row. Now, her parents put her, you know, I used to work at Red Bull, and I met her and we had that conversation. And she was like, when she was like, when she first went to school, she went to a school with the best athletics program. Now, she entered there, her life became about athleticism. Her friends were all athletes. They were part of the same school. They grew up together. They never had to smoke. They never had to drink. And they were healthy all their life. And they were, you know, competing in world sports, right? So if you put children in these environments and you nurture their passions, and they go there on their own. So, and the other thing I want to tell you about, you know, I self-study spiritual science. And there's you know, a thought leader from early 1900s called Rudolf Steiner, and he talks about the development phases. So 0 to 7 is copying. So if daddy is playing on a skateboard every day, the kid is going to love skateboarding, and they're going to learn it, and it's going to be skateboarding. So you give them that kind of inheritance. Now, 8 to 14, okay, is authority, right? So how do you guide that child? So now that they've learned the skills from 0 to 7, right, by copying you, 8 to 14 is where you guide them. So if they're so good at skating, okay, you send them to school, but then you send them to a skating school, right? So, or like from the beginning, you send them to, you know, a specialized school, or a school that has a specialized program, like an athletics program. And I think is this becoming like common in the UAE? Do we have like sports focused, for example, schools and universities?
We do have a lot of clubs. We do have a lot, but in the school curriculum itself, we don't. But we have a lot of like academies that comes from outside. They set up in the schools, but they have like dedicated kind of approach. But usually now in the sport in the UAE is not being taken to that level of professionalism. So we cannot be compared to the US, to UK, to all of those big schools, or all those big countries that actually do try to create the next top athletes, right? So for now, all the sports we have here is a recreational sport, is them just to enjoy and like push further to their hobby to the next level, but it's not for them to go pro. Usually all the academies here and all the clubs and all of those things is just like like once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 1 hour. So it's just like super easy and super mellow. It's just for them to like play the sport. It's not for them to develop to go to the next level. So this is what we have currently. But we do have variation of sports, and this is what we have done with the 60 sports so far. Is just to showcase that we have played 60 different sports in this country, in the UAE, and we have further more sports that we have in the country that people can go and play. But we don't have that high performance or something that's gonna take you from like a hobby to professional, and then from pro to elite.
Look, actually, that's the perfect thing. That's a perfect opportunity for this program, because ultimately you have the infrastructure, which is UAE has excellented and made perfect, right? And you have the inspiration, and you have the youth, and you have the students. And if they wanted to go into professional sports, they have to leave the country and do it. Now, it's literally, you have the infrastructure, you have the people. Now it's about presenting the solution. And the solution is about performance. So that's why we're also here with Satu. So Satu how can you support, like with the resilience program? How can it benefit someone like Mo, who's already told us what he's up to?
Excellent question, and thank you for inviting me, Roger. I firmly believe that a lot of it has to do with education, but not necessarily learning more about techniques or sports itself. It's more about learning more about yourself, who you are, what's within you, taking a holistic approach to deep diving into the areas of your puzzle. I call the human system a puzzle, because you need to find the pieces that make you work, make you win those games, whatever you're doing, whether it's sports or in business life or in life in general. But if the pieces of the puzzle, even though they do exist, but if they're in the wrong places, or you're trying to push them to the wrong places, your system is not functioning. And that's the foundation of everything I do. So I always take what I call the systems approach, and you can also call it the holistic approach. But imagine the puzzle. You need to find and define the pieces of your personal puzzle, whether it is about your genetics, your physical condition, your mindset, the way you breathe, what you eat, how you train, how often you train, how you sleep, how you recover. All those pieces, when they are put together in the correct way, and you're treating the pieces in the healthy way that you should, then you can reach high performance and really top level performance and sustain it. Because we're not only, if we now talk about athletes, but in general, if you want to reach a certain level in your career, you want to stay there, or you want to actually grow even further. It's not just about winning one game once or doing one thing 1 year. It's about finding a way where a baseline that can keep you there and sustain the high level of performance without you reaching a burnout, getting sick, getting injured. But also, even if that would happen, and this is about resilience, even if you would temporarily reach a burnout state, or you would get injured as an athlete, and athletes, they get injured. That's a known fact. You can't really avoid that if you're competing on a high level elite athletes. But the baseline is so important, and the fact that you know your system so well that you can then bounce back after a period, whether it's months or even a year or a season, where you can't really be on top of your game, but you know that you're doing the right things, that you will eventually bounce back and become even stronger, even better. And how we at SAGA Performance with our partners have built the resilience program for individuals, whether you're an athlete or a corporate CEO, is looking deep diving under the hood, looking into the building bricks, the pieces of the puzzle. And we do it with technology, measurements, tools, and coaching. So what we do most of the time is we look into the DNA, the genetic blueprint of the person, where we can see resilience related genetics. We can also optimize, if we want to go further, we can optimize your nutrition, the supplements that you eat, the way you're supposed to be training so that you can recover the best way possible within your sport. We can link that back to your genetics. We can see what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And then we do current state measurements of your recovery, because recovery is so important. You can't underestimate the fact that even if you would be doing everything right, but your sleep is not off, or you're not recovering during the daytime, you're not going to be able to sustain the high level of performance, athlete or not. So we look into that and we track it with the best tools available, that we can really see how your heart rate works during the day. And I'm not talking about just like Garmin watches or anything like that. I'm talking about almost hospital caliber wearables that you can use underneath your clothes 24/7, where we read your heart rate variability. We see how your respiratory system works, how you're stressing or not stressing. And by the way, we all stress, and it's not negative. We just need to know how to handle the stress, how to lead our stress in our daily lives. then also we do psychometric analysis, assessments, more on the mental side of things, more understanding how you perceive yourself and the world around you, and the connections, the relationships that you have. How optimistic or pessimistic are you? How do you usually react in times of stress or turbulent times? And through that, you can hear now I've touched upon so many pieces of the puzzle. You start to understand you. And only by doing that and continuously doing that, you can then lead yourself to top level performance. And I'm there to help. So my job is to not only look into the data, but to support you as the athlete or the corporate CEO or whoever you are, to make the right choices and not just be blindly staring at the report or technical data of your body and you're just like, I have no clue what to do with it, because someone needs to help you to translate it as well. So in a nutshell,
sorry, go ahead.
No, that's just summarizing.
So now when it comes to Mo, so basically what we are saying here is, Mo, do you like this idea? Like, do you want to actually, as part of that project, to have a resilience program with Satu?
I think that's a fantastic idea. I think what Satu said actually is the best thing for all athletes, and I think this is a program that will go so well hand in hand of what we're doing, because then we will have the performance side, and then we'll also have the resilience side out of it, or like what Satu talked about. Because an athlete, for them to reach to the top, to where they want, they have to be able to play games, and they train day in, day out, year in, year out, right? It's easy to assess an athlete that they can do, or like they call them one pump champ, or like they do like one event and then it's dead, either like with injuries, either whatever it is. As an athlete, they have to be able for them to perform to their like ultimate performance as long as possible on the older age, until they reach that sweet spot. So we need to make sure it happens. So what Satu said is a fantastic thing that we would love to have it in our center, and something we would like to work hand in hand for sure.
Glad to hear that. Thank you, Mo.
So at your center, Satu, so you have that opportunity with Mo, and I'd love you to guys take that conversation later. But also, like, Mo, just to let you know, so Satu's program, the resilience program, is 3,000 euros, which means I also need to go and get more money, which means I need to go probably to a couple of banks. Okay. But in any case, it's not a huge amount of money, because it's in dirhams. It's like, let's say, I don't know, 10, 12,000 dirhams, etc. So we're going to get that sponsored too, right? And we're going to include it as part of the project. And like I said, we have until November. So we have like 8 months of me, hustling, right? So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to just close quickly, because we have 1 more minute with Nayiri, who will tell us how will she help Mo release stress. Yeah.
Like, hello. So hi, Mo. So basically, I'm a TRX and body pump instructor, and I've given so many classes, and I've always noticed that even during the class, we don't give enough time, even before and after, to stretch the body, to release tension, to release the stress, all the muscle tension. So I'm working. I have what I'm meaning to do is like to give some time before an exercise and sometimes after the exercise, to stretch the body, release the body from the anxiety and from the stress, from certain areas.
Anyway, Nayiri is also part of your team. So we're a team of 4 now.
Let's do this.